Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm John Sable alongside Darin, and today we're taking a first look at the soon-to-be-released iRacing Audi R8 LMS GT3 car. And to help us out with this first look, we have a new friend here.
We do. I was driving in the SimXperience Stage 4 full motion with rear traction loss simulator, and it's amazing. What do you think about it? We drove it before this as well. You got to test drive it too.
Yeah, my mind was blown. And I'm normally not, I don't get too excited about testing new things, but I just couldn't wipe the smile off my face.
This is the first time I've seen John walk away from something that that he's never driven before, brand new, and was just, you just seem blown away.
Yeah.
That rear traction loss is really cool. And the whole thing is really cool. So anyway, that's not what this video is about. Again, we are test driving the new Audi R8 that's going to be released maybe by the time you're watching this. And we decided to do something a little bit different for this as well.
Yeah, besides just taking the Audi out there to Daytona by itself, we figured, why not bring a friend along? So I jumped in the also soon-to-be-released Mercedes AMG GT3 car, and we had a little race against one another.
Yep, we did. So without further ado, let's check it out.
Gonna start off here with some specs on the Audi R8 LMS. It weighs 2,799 pounds. It has a V10 engine that produces 576 horsepower and about 405 foot-pounds of torque.
And as you can see here, we decided to go to Daytona, and we're in the late afternoon setting. We thought it would be perfect since this car just won at the 24 Hours of Daytona. So as you can see, here's a shot of the Stage 4 as we're exiting pit lane.
And as you can see, the Stage 4 has its motion going. You can definitely see it when you're shifting the car.
Yep. Here's a split screen with you and the bat.
Yes, me and my 35-inch ultra-wide monitors, which is always nice for any kind of racing.
So now we're in car with the Mercedes.
And I really like the interior of the Mercedes. I particularly like the dash and all the telemetry you have. Now, there's plenty of other cars in iRacing that have telemetry, but the telemetry layout here is very similar to the Fast Dash iRacing app you might have noticed that I use on my phone. So it almost makes it where I don't need to use that.
Yeah, that definitely can come in handy. So now we're showing some exterior shots. Love the lighting at this at the late afternoon setting.
It really does remind me of watching the Daytona 24 Hours. It really does look spot on.
Yeah, something I want to mention too is, running in DX11, I definitely was running a lot more eye candy than I usually do. Frame rates for me were right around 100 frames per second, and I didn't notice any flickering, any slowdown. It ran smooth as silk, and again, I had things cranked up pretty good, so this is a cool shot. Love you. Here's some flashing headlights as you close in on me here in the Mercedes.
Yes, the very mean-looking Mercedes. I love the look of the car.
So which car do you like the looks of better?
I mean, they're both beautiful cars, but I do prefer the Mercedes myself. I just love that long hood, and I think it just looks super mean.
I prefer the Audi of the two. So it's cool that we have a little varying opinion there. But yeah, I think the Audi is, man, that thing's pure race car. And Audi's got such a great record, in the last 10 years as far as their racing goes. And I don't like it just for that. It's just, I think it's a badass looking car. So here's some more full screen of the Stage 4. I think we have a little rear traction loss kick out here, don't we? Yep, right there. So you see the bottom of the rig moved a little bit.
It's amazing how good that feels.
It does. You really, it's one-to-one, and you can really feel when that car is stepping out on you. So back to the in-car for the Mercedes as you run me down here. I think the draft, the Mercedes seemed to pick up the draft a little bit better than the Audi, because when I was in the draft behind you, it was definitely there, and I noticed the car was faster, but you seemed to close a little bit quicker than I did.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, and we just ran the baseline setup, so obviously we're probably running way too much downforce for this track. Normally Daytona, you really don't run that much wing angle. But yeah, it did seem like head-to-head baseline setup-wise, I was gaining on you a little more.
You know what may else have attributed to that too, some more headlights flashing. I think you passed me here. Was I ran a tall gear setup. That's the only thing it's the only change I made to the setup. Where there was tall and standard, where the Mercedes had standard and short. So when you were running the short gear ratio,
yes, I was.
there were some Audi headlight flashes for you guys. So that also could have contributed to your closing rate. You may have been spooling up quicker to do that. So here's a split screen of both of us again. And look at, I mean, you can see it more in your view at the top here. I mean, just look how crisp, I mean, that looks almost real.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, I turned up my eye candy a lot, where I was pretty much maxed out. I was even running the
Ferris wheel?
the Ferris wheel and also the mirrors, and I was running about 80, 90 frames per second, and yeah, it was running way smoother than it would at that frame rate than it would at DX9.
Yeah, I agree.
More headlight flashing.
Yeah. You know what's cool too is in car you have to be looking at the headlights to see it. So we're not sure what happens at night. We haven't tried it at night, running side by side like this or together. That actually closing rate there was pretty good.
Yeah.
I love the front end of the Audi, man. That thing looks badass. But you don't see the headlights beaming inside your car. But again, at night you may. We haven't tried it at night.
Yeah, that was something I was curious about, and like you said, you really have to be looking in your mirrors and paying attention to notice it. So yeah, during the day, you know, I know people are kind of concerned about flashing headlights. I don't see it being a concern at all.
No.
At night, it could be a different story.
Yeah. Here's side by side with the TV one cam.
Now, on the interior shot of the Audi, what do you think of the interior?
I think it looks cool. I like the carbon fiber dash. The actual display isn't as pretty as the Mercedes display. I think it's, but it tells you everything, and I like that it shows the ABS setting, traction control that you're at, the fuel map. You know, honestly, I didn't see it while I was driving. Where my field of view, you can see here, it's barely noticeable here. If you look on the left here, I can't really see. All I could see was the ABS and those settings, and then the shift lights. So, but yeah, I think it looks really cool. I like the Audi interior.
You saw my back end stepped out there, coming back onto the banking in turn 1 of the oval.
I like this shot. You looking at me over there inside. That was cool.
Well, and I thought you were going to kind of blow my doors off here because I just got to the throttle late, but I was able to kind of claw back here. So maybe that does indicate a little more straight line speed from the Mercedes.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I got to outbrake him.
I do think you were able to go deeper on the brakes than I was able to.
Well, I was really hammering them too, knowing that the ABS was going to be kicking in. I was definitely hammering the brakes. And you had just switched from the Club Sport pedals to the Thrustmaster, so I think I was just kind of outbraking you just in general. I think because you'd mentioned that you were struggling a little bit. More brake flashing, and you were right on my bumper there.
Yes, I was trying to push you.
So I think we're just about done here, and I got to say I'm loving the Audi. I think it's a great car, and you know, we drove the Mercedes, and that one's a lot of fun too. So it's going to make some great additions to the new iRacing GT3 car selections.
So with that, thanks for watching our first look at the iRacing Audi R8 LMS, along with kind of a first look at the SimXperience Stage 4 chassis, and another look at the Mercedes GT3 just for good measure. So for Darin Ganji, I'm John Sable. Thanks for watching Inside Sim Racing. See you guys next time.